Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the Colt Grill here in Prescott Valley, Arizona. My name is James Spooby, coming to you alongside my broadcast partners, Mr. Ed Cole, and joining us from beautiful Greer, Arizona, right here on StreamYard on the Wranglers Roundup, our third member of our broadcast team, Mr. Kevin Derryberry. Kev, how are you doing this evening, sir?
We are fantastic. We're on the high altitude, and life is good right now, really.
You are really trying to absorb and really immerse yourself in this northern Arizona life. Am I correct?
Yeah, we can see across the rim. I might be looking down on you guys just a little bit here, just because we're at 8,356 feet. So, breathing fresh air. You talk about some amazing scenery up here. What is it, like 600,000 acres of forestry, right? And then just vast amounts of rivers and streams to fish. It's just, if you like to just slow it down just a little bit, Arizona works for you.
Now, You say you're at 8,300 feet up there, Kev. You probably get like another hour of sunlight tonight. Is that right?
We have a little – there's still some daylight out right now. I want to say, looking on the deck right now, it's a little about maybe 65 degrees, something like that. It's
all right.
Double check that. I can't. It's a little bit of a far here, but
it's a brisk 75 right here in Prescott Valley right now.
Oh, it's phenomenal up here too,
definitely
KD.
Cooler than it was when we left the Valley of the Sun. Am I
right,
Ed?
It's beautiful.
Coming up on the show tonight, we got some special guests joining us here inside the Colt Grill. We're pleased to be joined by the kicker for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, Mr. Tim Parker, is joining us. We're also going to be joined by J.J. Brania-Hop, wide receiver for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. And last but certainly not least, linebacker Russell Williams Jr., former Hawaii Rainbow linebacker for them. And we got a jam-packed show tonight, fellas.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's do it. How about we take a short timeout here, a brief timeout, and have Ed tell us about the Colt Grill while we bring on Mr. Tim Parker.
Of course.
Ed, thank you so much for that information there on the Colt Grill here in Prescott Valley. We are pleased now to be joined by the kicker for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, Mr. Tim Parker. Tim, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on with us. Now, you guys obviously are over halfway through the season. You are a critical part of this football team, being, I would say, the leader of the special teams unit. How important is that to you to emphasize the importance of your role every week on this football team and let everyone know that you're here to take care of business and really help this team get in the win column?
Well, I mean, first off, it's an honor to even be mentioned in that, landscape as being the leader on special teams, because a lot of times the kicker is not usually the guy on special teams that they look at as the leader. So that's a compliment in itself. We take this unit very seriously. We take pride in this unit. We know it's all about passion and desire when it comes to this unit during games. And, you can drop the schemes, you can drop the game plans and all that good stuff, but it just comes down to the want to of making plays. And for us, as this season has gone on, our guys have risen to the challenge of each week, whenever teams come in, of stopping, their returners or being sound on special teams and stuff like that. So, big hats off to our special teams unit. And for you guys to even mention me as the leader of the special teams unit, I'm flattered and honored even just to hear that. So I appreciate that, guys.
Well, that's just a role that you've assumed naturally, Tim. I mean, I've seen it ever since I've been around the football team. First got to look at you guys way back. Oh, I say way back. It's way back in April now. And you have just asserted yourself as that role and as that prominent leader on that unit. So that's credit to you, my friend.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Timmy Parker representing Arizona State University. How you
Go
doing,
Devils.
buddy?
I'm good. KD, how you doing?
Hey, I'm fantastic. I want to talk about the nuance of place kicking. You used to be a punter by trade at Arizona State, and so now you're kicking this indoor football league ball. It's just a different type ball, a little bit smaller, not quite the same pigskin that you were used to kicking before the IFL. Describe some of those the unique attributes about kicking.
So to answer your question there, KD, so the difference is obviously in the size. The college footballs, obviously is made out of the pigskin, and what we have here with the IFL is I think it's called it's composite leather, so it has a little bit more give to it. Sweet spot's just a little bit smaller, so you have to be, as far as making contact with the ball, like your contact has to be precise, and any little deviation from the contact you make on the ball, it will definitely show up. You can get away with it a little bit with the NFL and the college footballs, but definitely with the IFL balls, there is a distinct difference. You have to make solid contact on that ball, or if you don't, that thing can go anywhere and everywhere, as you can see during the game. So yeah.
So Tim, to go along with the change of the football compared to what you're used to, being compressed from 100 yards to 50, how different is that for you, having to prepare to kick on a surface that's much more compressed and much smaller than what you're used to over in Tempe?
So a lot of times when you hear the analogies with kickers and punters, they always bring up golf, and I've never been the type to ever golf in my life, so I was never able to make those comparisons myself. But after watching the game of golf for a little bit now, you kind of have to incorporate the different swings, the different clubs as you would in the game, in the arena game, because you can't just rear back in this league and try to send it down the field, because obviously you kick it out of the arena as opposed to kicking out a 100-yard field. So that's the main difference that I've seen. With the indoor game and with the outside game, your precision, where your placement goes with the ball and stuff like that makes a huge difference. And for me, as the season has gone on, I've learned to squib kick the ball a lot better than I have, obviously playing in 11-man. So I've noticed that in the indoor game, squib kicks for returners are absolutely hard to handle. And my job as a kicker is to make life very, very difficult for those guys, not to get clean returns or anything like that, and allow the kickoff unit to get down there and make plays. So I guess it's one of those where you're learning on the fly. So yeah.
We're visiting here with the kicker for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, Mr. Tim Parker. Tim, if you would walk us through your practice routine. Obviously, being a kicker, it's a little bit different than the normal guys. You don't do as much hitting, although we've seen you hit before. You are not afraid to stick your nose in there.
No, I'm not.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
But walk us through your practice routine. You go in every day. You work just as hard as all these other guys. Walk us through, mentally and physically, what do you do in a day's practice to get yourself prepared for that upcoming week's game?
So, I mean, as far as like warming up and do stuff like that, I do all that stuff with the team, because obviously that gets me good and ready to go to assume my job kicking the footballs. A lot of times what I'm doing is I'm kicking a lot of footballs into a soccer net, like when we're outside.
Okay.
And that gives me an opportunity to feel contact on the ball, because any kicker will tell you ball contact, no matter what level you're at, is king. And so for me, it's just feeling that ball contact, get enough repetitions in to where I feel comfortable. And then once I feel comfortable doing that, now I take it out in the field and I try to get those same repetitions in with the uprights.
Okay.
And so oftentimes we're inside the arena and sometimes we're not. So it can be a challenge, obviously with going outside, you got to deal with the elements. As far as, being inside, you don't really have to deal with it. So for me, it's trying to keep the arena feel outdoor when we're practicing outdoor, the same every single time. And like I said, it could be a challenge at times, but for me, it's just trying to hit the same ball every single time, no matter if I'm inside or outside, and splitting the pipes just like I would do on the inside.
It's all about that muscle memory, and it's really about that feel, isn't it? Another follow-up question for you.
Sure.
Going from the outdoor game to an indoor game with essentially a rooftop over your head, how does that mess with your depth perception and just everything?
It doesn't really mess with it. Thankfully for me, kicking at the Toyota Center, I mean, the roof is high enough to where I've only hit that thing a couple of times in practice, so I don't have to worry about that so much during games, as opposed to being in other arenas. you have to account for hanging scoreboards, lights, speakers, and stuff like that. So being in other arenas, like I always go out maybe a couple hours early to go see, what the surroundings look like, how the field surface is, and stuff like that.
Sure.
So there's been a few instances, especially this last game, where they had hanging speakers up, and I was trying to kick a deuce, and next thing you know, I kind of got a little bit underneath it, and I was able to kick it over the scoreboard, and I got stuck in the rooftop. So, yeah, it was just it was
that equipment interference. That's good for like 15 yards or something.
It should have been.
The ensuing kick.
Yeah, they call that a dead ball, right?
Yeah, they call that a dead ball, and it's the equivalent of kicking the ball out of the arena. So they give the ball at the 20-yard line. So
interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting, Tim. You're gonna face that again in Tucson on Saturday night because the way they have it set up at Tucson Arena, they got those low hanging speakers, and I've seen on various broadcasts. When a team goes down there, the kicker invariably hits that speaker almost every single time.
Well, the crazy thing is that I haven't played it. I guess they're playing at the Tucson Civic Center, from what I understand. So
Convention Center, yes.
Yeah. So I've never been there, so I don't know what the surroundings are or how it is on the inside. But I've talked to a few kickers in this league, and it's the crazy thing. You guys probably don't know this, but we've exchanged a lot of information, all the kickers in the league, and they come to me and ask me, how are the conditions at your guys' place? And I'll ask them the same thing when we go to their place. So they'll give me info. I'll go out to the field. Everything they tell me is dead on. And just from there, being in pregame and stuff like that, you have to make your adjustments accordingly based off of the surroundings, based off the scoreboard and stuff like that. So there's certain things you can do, certain things you can't do. From what I'm hearing at the Tucson Arena, long field goals as far as like kicking balls from like 55 plus might be out of the question. Although their guy Jimmy Camacho did hit a 53-yard field goal, so I don't know. Maybe that might be the range as far as like where you can kick field goals from 53 and in. You might be gold there.
We're going to try to keep those attempts inside that.
Yes,
for
Kev.
sure.
How about that? That's the good old boy network right there. That's a kicking fraternity. Guys sharing information with one another. That's fantastic. And by the way, maybe two answers to two questions ago, Timmy, you mentioned ball striking, another comparison to golf right there. So it's kind of interesting that you draw that comparison. I wanted to ask you about the craft of kicking. You mentioned the squib kick. You're working on that part of your game, and you've improved that part of your game since we began against the Wranglers a few weeks back. But I think you have maybe 7 touchbacks too. If the opponent is starting their drive on the 5-yard line, that's a really, really good thing for the Wranglers football team.
Oh, absolutely. Field position in this league is not so much. It's not really. I should say not really that important, but it's not as big as it would be obviously on a 100-yard field. But still, if you can get a team to start with a long field, I mean that's a bonus for your team and for the defense. You got some of these high-powered offenses that like to operate with a lot of space, and when it gets to the point where they got to get inside the 10 and they got to play phone booth football, it makes it a little bit uncomfortable for them as well. So for us, it's, obviously we want to win that field position battle, and, our kickoff team, like I said, has done great all year long. So we're just trying to keep that going, and, knock on wood, we haven't given up a return for a touchdown. And that's one thing I told my guys on the unit, like, we're not doing that this year. And that's one thing that we take pride in, and hopefully going forward, we're going to keep that up. So.
And the onside kick game too. You've had some success with that throughout the season as well. So another part of that craft of kicking the football.
Yeah. So for me, the pop-up onside is almost like a punt. What you're trying to do in that situation is trying to get enough height on the ball so that your guys that are flanked to your right, for me, get down there and go up and get the 50-50 ball that we like to call. When you got guys like Terrence Bynum, Todd Athey, who are 6'4", 6'5" guys, you like your chances going up to jump for a ball against a small defender on their kickoff return team. So, yeah, we've had some success this year. There's been a couple of them that we wish that we could have gotten, but, it's part of the game, and you just move on forward from that. And now for us, it's, whenever opportunity arises, we're going to try to get more. So.
Tim, you mentioned Athey and Bynum and everyone else that it teams up with you on special teams. How great is it to have men like that, the mighty men that that you can rely on? So when you kick that ball off, or if you squib it, or whatever is decided to do as far as your role, that you've got guys that that can perform and make things happen from a special team standpoint?
Well, for me, kicking the football, I'm trying to place it in certain corners of the field based off their looks and what they're giving us. So anytime that I do my job, it allows our kickoff unit to do theirs. And like I said, we got some great athletes on our kickoff team. And, your guys are going to talk to Russ here in a minute. He's one of those guys, flies down there, makes plays, very, very physical. But with the athletes that we have on our kickoff team, I'm spoiled in that aspect. So my job is to put the ball where it needs to go and then let those guys go down there and make plays. And like I said, they've been doing a great job all year long, and we just want to continue that and keep that thing rolling.
But you're not scared to mix it up if you have to.
No, I don't.
We've seen it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Quite a few times.
Yeah, there was a few times, especially when against Duke City. I saw an opportunity for a kill shot, and I went for it. Didn't work out the way I wanted to, but hey, I know there'll be other opportunities here, coming up. So my whole thing was trying to get the crowd hyped up. I know if a kicker goes in and makes a big hit, that place is going to erupt. So that's what I was looking for as the end result of that.
I was thinking that same thing, Tim. Don't sell yourself short. We know you learned special teams at the very best college in all of the Pac-12 at Arizona State. We know you know how to make plays, and that's the beauty of it. I even think against Frisco, you might have even had an assist, if nothing else, if you did get a solo in there. But we've seen those guns on game day.
Sun's out, guns
hey,
out.
Hey, kid, you're being too nice, man.
Hey, Tim, one final question for you here. What is your favorite place that you've ever gotten to play? Your favorite stadium, be it in arena or otherwise?
Oh, goodness. There's a lot to choose from. The two that stick out on my mind throughout my whole playing career have to be Oregon and USC. It's just something about the Coliseum, just the whole mystique, the history, all the great players that have come through there. I mean, that place in itself, like when you walk in there, the energy there is just, the vibe there is just something different. Oregon, I mean, the fans are right on top of you. And when you hear what their sellout crowd is attendance-wise, you're like, wait a minute, there's no way that 55,000 plus people can be that loud, but they are that loud. And whoever built that stadium did a phenomenal job in, I guess, the landscape of it, because what they did was they put the fans right on top of you. So it almost feels like they're right next to you. And it gets so loud that what we're doing right now, we couldn't have this conversation.
You would
normally
have to be screaming.
Yeah, I had to be screaming in your ear, and just it made it tough for road teams to come up there and have success. So that's why there are times where they were ruling the Pac-12. They had these like ridiculous win streaks at home that couldn't be snapped. And ironically for me, I was a part of the 2002 team that went up there and snapped one of those winning streaks at their place. We ended up winning a game up there 45-42. And the greatest feeling and the greatest sight ever in a football game is going to somebody else's hometown, their stadium, and silencing their crowd. And you only have like your handful of fans that came up and you're celebrating with them, singing the fight song. So yeah, that's definitely has to be the highlight.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Those guys are responsible for a lot of the, the signage and stuff you see now in current football, be it college or pros, because some of those crowds are deafening.
Yes.
You cannot communicate. Everything has to be done inaudibly.
Yeah. Your silent count game has to be up to par. So you're going to have a long night. Definitely.
Good stuff.
Autzen Stadium. That's where it is. That's
yes.
It's a heck of a place, a heck of a venue to go and win.
Yeah. That is a great college town in Eugene.
It is, especially when you got Nike headquarters right across the street. I mean, any recruit that wants to go to school there, I mean, you've already got them hooked with that. So,
well, the first place they walk them through there is that they got a little tunnel there. They show them all the gear that you're going to come upon.
Yeah.
If you decide to
it's crazy.
Go the duck route. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much, Tim Parker, for joining us, place kicker for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Our pleasure always
Thank
to
you,
speak
Tim.
with you, sir, and get a little insight on your game and how you approach the game, and obviously your contributions to the game.
Appreciate it.
Very important contributions as
Thank
well.
You.
So
thank you guys
so
for
much
having me.
joining us.
Thank
we appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Tim.
We're going to have Ed tell us a little bit about Findlay GMC now as we get ready to bring on our next guest, JJ Brania Hop.
Absolutely. You've got to discover the Findlay advantage in Prescott as the vehicles they sell, the customer service they provide, and the top to bottom and inside and out maintenance their technicians provide is simply unbelievable. Becoming part of the Findlay GMC family comes with certain perks like free membership in the Findlay Prescott Advantage Club. Trust me,
Ed, thank you so much for that wonderful information right there on Findlay GMC right here in Prescott Valley, a proud sponsor of Northern Arizona Wranglers football. We are pleased now to be joined by one of the wide receivers, one of the stud wide receivers, I'd like to say, for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, JJ Brania Hop. Mr. Hop, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me out here today.
Hey,
Thanks,
we
JJ.
appreciate you coming on with us. Now, you have just all you've done since you came on this football team is make plays. That's all you've done.
Doing my
And
job.
what is it that drives you and allows you to come in here and compete with some guys that are bigger than you? They might have a little bit more experience than you, but you just, not in a bad way, you turn the other cheek and just go make plays.
It's just a whole lot of work, done in all season. I've paid a lot of money, put myself in the right situations for training, be with the best possible trainers out there, and just working all the time. I kind of get anxiety if I'm not out there, working out, during the week, making sure I'm staying consistent. You always got to think someone else is out there working. So make sure you keep
That's
up
always
with
a
work
motivating
one,
factor for knowing that somebody else, if I'm not working, then somebody else is working right now.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic, like
Yes.
at that point in time when you're home alone, most people probably weren't doing stuff. So it's definitely a reminder in yourself, like, got to get out there and work.
JJ, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
We're doing fantastic. All the way from Washburn University, a one-time Ichabod. I want to start with some sentiment you have on your Twitter handle. I think it says a lot. Carpe diem. And if those that you don't know what carpe diem means, seize the day. If you would tell me a little bit about that wisdom right there.
Well, there's a couple quotes and motivations and historical figures I kind of like to look back on as motivation just for every day. We have so many days in our lives where every day could use a new motivation. So that was something that just stuck with me the first time I heard about it and read it. I was like, all right, that's a great thing. I know football teams use it, like the Oregon Ducks have like win the day for their slogan, and it's just something to motivate me each day to just take advantage, trying to get a little better at whatever you are doing in life at that point.
That's a good basis.
JJ,
it really is.
Go ahead, Kevin. I'm sorry.
No, I just said that's a solid foundation right there.
Absolutely.
It is. JJ, talk about this offense and the prolific nature of it. What is it about this offense that makes you be able to do what you can do and showcase your skills like you did on Saturday in Frisco? You got a touchdown, you got in the scoring column, and you're able to produce for this football team. Just talk about this offense and how it allows you to get loose and do what you do.
Really, it's just really all on Coach Brody cooking up the plays for the week. He really studies the heck out of it, making sure we put ourselves in the best position so anybody can be put in that position and go and score and make the plays. Then everybody else doing the job. Like for my touchdown, wouldn't have scored without the linemen and the handoffs. All 8 people doing their job together, and I think that's what. Whenever we do have success, is because we're all 8 on the field are doing their job. So it's really just a big conglomerate of everybody.
Now, obviously, it's been a little bit of a challenging season, JJ, with starting quarterback Verlon Reed Jr. going down in the first game. Verlon, luckily, has come back. He's healthy now. Caden stepped in grand fashion during Verlon's absence. How do you get in sync with working with different quarterbacks like that? Because obviously, the throwing and passing game is a rhythm. It's a connection. It's a timing thing. It's all about the timing. How do you establish that timing with your quarterback?
So for me, since I came in when Caden was the starter, and that was after the Bismarck game in the bye week. So I've just been adjusting with them and rolling with the punches, and they're both excellent quarterbacks. I mean, really both deserve to be starters in the league, and it's just the way we have practice. There's so many reps that everyone gets to do with everybody, so we get into that sync. We all watch film together. And it can be bumpy when you have a flip-flop of it, but I think everybody's really handled it well and made it as smooth as possible moving forward.
JJ, was it tough for you getting used to the indoor game, the 50-yard game, as opposed to like playing in an outdoor stadium in front, and you've got 100 yards that you have to work with, but now everything is shrunk down to half of that size?
To say it wasn't a huge adjustment would be a lie. For anybody that says it's not, it's such a different game. especially receiving. All the angles and starting on a running motion is something I had to get a lot of coaching from, whether it was outside sources or my own teammates just teaching me different ways to run stuff. It's a completely different game, but I think by now I've got the hand of it down. So that's good. But yeah, it was definitely just
JJ, as a senior at Washburn, you ended up being an all MIAA selection. I believe you were the MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, but you also were 5th in the country in the triple jump. How has the triple jump and running track helped you in this 50-yard indoor war that we call? There's a lot of start and stop and a lot of burst, and you get that running head start, so to speak. You get to play in motion. How has that part of your athletic background helped you here in the indoor football league?
I think a lot of that is just all the ground and pound you kind of got to do on your legs for triple jump, and all the jumping events I did in that was all something that keys into being an athlete. I've been raised in a thought where you play a bunch of sports, you kind of become a well-rounded athlete. That's kind of what football takes, is for a lot of things in the background molded into one. So I think just being like an overall athlete will help anybody does get involved in the sport, and it definitely, I guess, it's helped me a bit adjust to all the changes that I've gone through in my career.
It doesn't hurt that you have hop in your name either.
Nah. Yeah, thanks my dad for that. So.
Awesome.
Go ahead, JP. I know you're chomping at the bit to get to JJ.
What are you looking at to accomplish here? We got, I believe, 5 games left here in the regular season for the Wranglers. What are you looking to accomplish here as we get ready to close the season out and look towards the 2022 campaign, James?
So many goals. I mean, I have a lot of goals I've made out for myself, haven't achieved yet. I have things written in my room. You tell yourself every morning to wake up and do. I mean, one thing just as a team would be to win out these last couple of games, especially now with Brody leading us in the head start. But it comes down to us all syncing together and doing little things. That way, those goals that we have set for each other can work out in the end. And if we do the little stuff, then everything should work out. Get those goals.
JJ, how great has it been to play in front of the fans that we have here at the Findlay Toyota Center, and they love you guys and you love them back. It's like it really is a family atmosphere here. How the community has grabbed this football team and embraced it, and the team has embraced the community itself. What is it like on game days to, like, say after the game, you're down there signing autographs and taking pictures and selfies with fans? Just that interaction, the fan experience that you can have with the fans. How great is that?
It's honestly, it's such a blessing. I mean, I hope people don't take it for granted. We have one of the best fan bases, honestly, just being a new team, and then even sticking through the hard times when we have close games that don't work, or the one that did work out for us. We have great fans, and it's been a great experience to just the little kids up to any of the older fans that are out there, people just cheering straight to the fourth quarter, to the last thing. I mean, we go to other games and you see people leaving before the game's even over. I swear, I think all of our fans almost stay until the very end. Maybe it's because there's not much traffic to get out.
Right.
Hey, they got a pretty good system. Yeah, but man, we have great fans. I couldn't ask for anything better given the circumstances.
That's a great segue to my next question. What would you tell someone who might be watching tonight's show that has never been to an indoor football league game, and they say, I'm thinking about checking that out, but I'm kind of on the fence? What would you tell them to tell them to get out there and see some of that action?
I've even talked to a couple people to getting rides here. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. I mean, this is a game that is always fire and stuff happening. You turn away and a ball might get thrown in your direction.
You look out the roster and things happen. I understand.
Someone might dive into the crowd right by you. It's a full-fledged action thing, but and it's even, if you don't want to be involved in that, you sit somewhere further up to be safe. It's a high action, great like sense of community in there.
You can stay out of the splash zone down there if you want to, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a sport that I would, if I had something closer to me when I was growing up, I'm sure my parents would have taken me to.
Yeah.
And it's just a good atmosphere, just a way to spend a good Saturday night out doing something.
Guys, a couple things. The man you're sitting next to, James Brania Hop, wears number 8, 6 foot 200. You got to love the size, the speed, the athleticism. But just think about this: a one-time invitee to the Tennessee Titans rookie minicamp. That kind of speaks a little bit to the athleticism and the kind of player that you have sitting next to you right there. And I want to go to the numbers real quick. 15 catches, 161, a couple of touchdowns for James. But it was the 3 for 62 against Tucson at home. A big part in that huge win when the Wranglers knocked off Tucson for that only win, 48-44. But you had a huge role in that one. And now you get the Sugar Skulls here again Saturday. What are your thoughts going into this next one?
It's always just about the next game, the next win, going 1-0 next week. So I'm sure they'll have some new adjustments, maybe some new players, just like every team does. And just going to follow whatever Coach cooks up for us, head into the game with the same mindset, and, go down there and get a W.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out tonight and joining us here on the Wranglers Roundup. Again, you've been nothing but impressive. I can't wait to watch you play again this Saturday down in Tucson. And it's JJ Brania Hop joining us here on the program. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you coming on with us.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you, JJ.
Continued good luck the rest of the season. And we'll check in with you again very soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. We'll have Ed tell us a little bit about Findlay.
For quick draw?
What's up?
I didn't know if you wanted to keep him for quick draw real quick. No, we don't have time.
Yeah, let's hit the quick
we can
draw.
do a quick draw.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, hold on. Let me get it queued up here.
Don't go anywhere yet, JJ.
All right.
We got a couple
All right.
hot ones for you right here.
All right. Kevin, tell me when I can pot it down. I'm going to play it right now.
Way back in the frontier days of the old wild, wild west, where the settlers would settle and the outlaws would roam the rugged terrain of the Southwest from town to town, saloon to saloon, one would always have to be ready for the unknown, and at any time, you had to be ready for the old quick draw.
It's James Brania Hop on the quick draw segment here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup Show from Montville, New Jersey. JBB, JJ, our first one for you. Do you sport jerseys? You a sports jersey guy, a player guy? Do you represent any team or player in any sport? Yay or nay on sports jerseys?
I like this one, Kev.
No, I'm not a big sports jersey guy. I respect a lot of what a bunch of people do, so I try not to idolize one guy like that. So no.
You wouldn't throw on like a Steve Atwater jersey or anything like that, huh? You just wouldn't.
Of course he would.
I'd throw on one of those.
See there?
Yeah.
That's a great
That's a good
answer,
one.
JJ.
No, he's a Hall of Fame player. That really wasn't even fun. I was just baiting my guy James Groovy on that one. Just having some
I'm a
fun.
big Bronco fan. He's got to get a dig in whenever he can. It's okay. Go ahead.
All right, how about let's go in the fashion out of the fashion wardrobe segment. How about favorite jeans to rock? You have a favorite brand of jeans you like to rock on a Friday night?
I'm not too brand specific, but I do have a certain style that I like to follow. So I'm like more of like European style and stuff like that. So definitely something I stick to those, but not
I
a
go
specific
skinny
brand.
jeans myself, but they're just a little too tight sometimes. But you know,
Yeah, I don't follow the brands too much.
I thought James, you had that tattered look like Ed. You know,
now, I'm more of a tough skins guy. KDB, you remember those from back in the day?
All right, James Brania Hop, our guest. I'm sure you get this one quite a bit, but the Washington University Ichabods. What's an Ichabod, man? For those of us that just don't know.
So Washburn University, that's the name. Washburn University Ichabods. The school was originally named Lincoln University. This is gonna be like a boring history story. 1800s, there was a tornado that hit in Kansas. Shocker. And a very wealthy man in Massachusetts that never stepped foot on the campus. His name was Ichabod Washburn. So he sent equivalent to, I don't know the exact number, but a lot of money down to save the school, and it was renamed after him. So they switched the name to Washburn Ichabods. Basically, that's what it is. We've one of those interesting names
on this type of show, and again, cash is king, right? We got that. That's
right.
Change done swiftly with the right price. Hey, James, your favorite superhero? You have a superhero?
I guess we'll go Aquaman right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Aquaman, I like it. Two-parter. What what would be that superpower that you would acquire if you could have it right now?
I tell all my friends I wish I could fly.
Okay.
I would fly
Fantastic.
anywhere. Fly
Go
to the Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon, great choice. That's a few miles up north from you guys there. Go-to grub spot in Montville, New Jersey. Back home.
Oh
Don't
man,
think too
I
long.
used to. No, I'm not trying not to. Anywhere Italian back home, honestly, that's my favorite food.
Okay.
So, we have all these places back there. Delicia's, Mara's, and then this place I used to work for. They didn't tip
Are
me
you
enough, so I
going
won't give
pizza
the
or are you
name.
going pasta or are you going manicotti? What are you doing there when you hit the Italian
Everything.
spot?
I'm
Whatever
not
they
even
got.
that big on pizza, really. It's
No?
Okay.
all the Italian food.
Calzone?
No, not even that. Just
No?
pastas and
Garlic
everything they
knots,
can
whatever
make.
else. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything. Pieces of
Last
cop
part of
outside.
it. How about Prescott Valley? Go-to restaurant in Prescott Valley.
Oh,
I know.
answer
Colt
carefully
Grill's on your
now.
list.
Well,
Colt Grill.
Hey,
Yeah.
good answer.
I knew
Hey.
that was up there. That's always up there. All right, last one for some fun. Back in 2013, Money Magazine had Montville as 13th in the nation as one of the best places to live, according to their live rankings. So that's your hometown, man. It's got to be a great place to grow up and play football.
Well, we're not that good at football there, but it was a great place to live. Didn't win too many games there. Surprised I got out to college. So it's a great place to live, though. Definitely was raised around some great people and can't thank them enough for that. So it's a good
Thanks,
place.
JJ.
Thank you.
James Brania Hop joining us here on the Wranglers Roundup. Thanks again, my friend, for coming on with us. We appreciate it, and we will catch up with you again very soon.
Right.
Thanks again for taking the time.
thanks,
See
JJ.
you guys.
Ed's going to tell us about Findlay Toyota, proud sponsor of the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup. Once again, thank you, Ed, for that fantastic information there on Findlay Toyota, a very proud sponsor of the Northern Arizona Wranglers, as well as the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup here. We're pleased now to be joined by our final guest of the evening, linebacker Russell Williams Jr. How are you, pal?
Feeling great. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing good. We got you on here. We're going to talk a little defense, one of my favorite things to talk about.
Best thing in the world. Defense.
So what are your thoughts here after over a half a season with this Northern Arizona Wranglers football team? It's all about the culture. That's one thing we learned early on when we first got to know these guys and the coaches and you guys as well. Just talk a little bit about what it means to you to be a Northern Arizona Wrangler.
To be honest, these coaches hit me up in November, and that's when I signed. So the whole time I'm deciding, do I really want to come out here? Am I still going to chase this dream? Then the time came, late March, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I think it's one of the best decisions I made in in the past 5 years of my life. The community is very embracing. The crowd is live. Everyone's just nice, and I'm back on the football field, man. And I'm glad I made that decision to come out here. And the team, my teammates, man, I just love the camaraderie, and they're cool dudes, man. I love it.
It's all about that perfect mix, isn't it? Of good teammates, good coaches, a good culture. It's all there with this program.
Exactly. It really is.
Russell, we talk about this. So from November until now, Coach Brody has always talked about, and Coach Bramante has preached, it's all about the next step. It's about the process, about growing as an expansion team, and about taking those next steps. From November until now, are you seeing those steps? Are you seeing this team progressing to where we ultimately want it to be in the future?
It was kind of quiet from November till March, they're just trying to get the team together. But the progress that I was noticed was just during the season, those first few games, you could see it that we were trying to figure it out as offense, defense, all around. And then these last 5 games, you could see that we're slowly closing that gap,
Yes.
And then with this last game, I don't know how to explain it. Like, defense was out there having fun. Offense was moving the ball. And you could just see that it's coming together, and we're so close. And I can't wait till we could bring that winning culture to this community.
That's a big difference when you're able to go out there and finally start having fun with the game again, right? Because let's face it, it's a little kids game that we love, that we started playing when we were little kids, and we still love it. We still get just as excited as we did the first time we strapped it up.
As a rookie, I'm learning more about this game week in and week out. But the difference in these last few weeks is Coach Dave Moran is making that defense simple so that we can just go out there, fly around, and make plays. When it's simple, we don't got to think too much. We can just run around and make plays. And you really saw that this past game. Yeah.
Yes.
Russell, you mentioned that you're a rookie. Talk about fitting in. What do you have, 23, 24 other rookies on the roster with you? That has to be a big-time challenge for this expansion football team. But as you mentioned, and you indicate, you guys are closing the gap, and you're making plays. And let's just talk about your game for a minute. 20 tackles. 20 solo tackles. You assist on 14 more. 34 tackles on this young season, if you will. 1.5 behind the line of scrimmage, and you had an interception. Went for 28 yards on the return. We'll talk more about that here later on. But and then you have a pass breakup. You're playing this game fast and downhill. Describe the action for us as you continue to have success personally.
Well, I finished Hawaii December 2017, and I didn't play 18, 19, and 20. So I was off for 3 years when I came out here, and I'm like, am I going to go out the first practice, in camp? I'm like, I got to get my steps back. But after we got the pads on in that first game, them instincts, they don't go away. Like, I'm meant to be out here on this field. So, and every week I'm still learning about this indoor game. It's a whole different game out here. And, you can see weekly, not only I, but everybody on this team, and we have mostly rookies, we're getting better and better. So the more we learn about this game and trust our coaches, it's only up from here,
Russell, the front four you have with you, Eric Sadler, DJ Calhoun, and Zay Coven Henderson. Like on Saturday, I was watching you guys. I had to watch the game twice because I just love the way you're the front four. You and those 3 men just go after it. You guys are, like you said, you're having fun. You're running to the football. You're making plays. You're fearless. And what you want to do is stop the opponent in their tracks, if not knock them back. How fun is it to be a part of that front four? That those guys do they push you as much as you push them?
You don't understand. Like, that front four it's rare because me and DJ are max, So I got thrown at the end to help this team because, certain situations came up. But I consider myself a pretty versatile football player. If you look at the film, you'll see me lined up one time at safety, Mac, and D-line. So I'm having fun out here. But, the front four, after every play, when one of us makes a play, you see us jumping around with each other. And I didn't mind playing D-end because I was still flying around, making plays, and my boys are right there next to me, and we're just having fun with it.
How do you guys stay excited? It's a smaller group of guys for an arena football team. You've got 21 guys on the roster. You've only got probably 2 or 3 guys that you really work with in practice, I would imagine, maybe 4 or 5 at the most at any particular time. How do you guys not let it get stale and keep things fresh and keep that energy out there on the practice field and have that translate over to the game?
Coach Vermonte always says it's a mindset. It's a mindset. You got to really think about that. And we're really grateful to be out here playing football. So every time you get bored or you're just like, practice at 5:50, we're out here able to play football, not have to worry about a day job,
Right.
We're getting paid to play football on a smaller field, run around, hit people 10 times more often because of the field.
Yes.
So we're just having fun. That's all it is. Don't overthink it. Don't think it's too serious. Just go out there, have fun, and make somebody, feel it. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Russell, the transition from again, like I asked Tim and we talked to JJ about this, the transition from a full football field to half of what you're used to in the college game, was that much of a transition for you? Was that tough once you got here in November and you started indoctrinating yourself into this indoor football league?
Well, once I got out here, the first thing I did was I walked that turf inside the stadium, inside the arena, And I was like, oh, I don't know. This feels weird. It feels like I could feel the concrete right under it. And then I touched it with my hands. I'm like, oh, these turf burns are about to burn. And they do. I got some scars already. But I also feel like, and I don't know if it's just because it feels smaller, but I feel 10 times faster. Like my speed is up. So the term sideline to sideline linebacker is actually official now. So, but then some days we practice out on that high school football field, and it's like, oh my gosh, this field is so huge, and you're not used to it. It's like when I go back out, I'm gonna have to get back used to that big old field. But it's fun playing on this turf field. That walls, they hurt if you hit them wrong, but when you hit somebody into them, that's fun. And I'm falling in love with this indoor game. I can see myself playing this if the next level wants to wait a little longer. Hopefully it comes sooner, but I wouldn't mind playing in this league again.
You got to enjoy playing with guys that enjoy the physicality like you. You talk about hitting the boards. You guys were breaking glass last week in Frisco, Texas. They had to stop the game for about 10, 15 minutes, I want to say. Yeah. What is it about this group of guys that just helps you? You talk about you and DJ. I can just see you guys really feeding off each other out there in practice. Yeah. And, it's all about competitiveness out there with you guys.
Yeah. Well, we always say fly around to the ball and don't, what I'm saying? Like, if you see the ball, go to it. No hesitation, that we're still trying to get the back end to follow that up. And which me and DJ are the ones leading that way, because we love to hit, we love to fly around, and we competed with each other. At halftime, we looked at the stat sheet. I'm like, DJ, I got 2 more tackles than you. He was like, he said some words, and then the second half, he got the first tackle, and he was like, yeah, I'm catching up. I'm like, yeah, we'll see.
There we go.
And then at the end of the game, I was like, you were 1 short, bro. So we're we got to make it a competition. On kickoff, I got a DB to the left and the right of me, and I'm like, I'm going to beat you guys down there. I'm faster than you guys. So we race down there trying to make the tackle, and you just got to have fun. That's the only way. That's the only thing about it is just have fun.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
James, you were talking about some leaders of the football team, and you mentioned Arizona State former ASU place kicker Timmy Parker, and now Russell's talking about DJ Calhoun right there. So Devils making their presence on the program right here. But RJ, I want to ask you, what's it like going from Hawaii, right, on the island to Prescott Valley? I mean, that's got to be a little bit of a culture shock, if nothing else.
When I first got to Hawaii, I was 18 years old. Fresh out of junior college, and when you say culture shock, it took me 3 to 4 months for my teammates to like me, because the culture is out there is you respect everyone, you respect the culture, you respect the island. And when I got out there, I was kind of cocky, right? I came from a JUCO. I was like, I'm about to start. And then, the teammates put me in check, and they're my brothers to this day. I finished, 4 years ago? And every time I go back, I have multiple families I can stay with, and it's just, I embrace that culture. So when I came here, I was used to trying to find that new culture, and it was we have a mask mandate in California. When I came out here, got to Walmart, no one was wearing masks. I'm like, oh my gosh, I like this. Everyone's friendly, talking to you, and it's just like, it was easy to adjust,
Hey, I want to one other quick point. You talk about that speed of the game and how you have a lot of speed on the field. When you have your health and you've been off 3 years, they call that fresh legs. So, RJ, you're in prime condition right now, and I believe you played in all 10 games. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe you missed one in there for some reason, but 10. I think you played in all 10, and that's quite a remarkable accomplishment considering guys come and go, and just the attrition through the indoor football league season. My last point, though, at the University of Hawaii, one of our teammates for the Wranglers, Kaelin Hicks, a DB, who's is starting to come along as well in that defensive secondary. Did you cross paths with him at the university, at the U of H, as they like to say?
Yeah, I was a sophomore his freshman year. I was a junior his freshman year, so I played with him 2 years, and he was one of my closer teammates there. We got the same humor. He's from Vegas, so when he came to Hawaii, he had to get through that culture change as well, and I helped him through that. And then his first game was against Duke City, and a week before that, he hit me up like, hey, Russell, what do you think about the indoor league? And I was like, bro, you're at home doing nothing. Come out here and play. Trust me, you're a DB, so you're going to have a lot of film. And then I talked to coach, and I got him out here the next 2 days.
All right.
And I was like, so we got that chemistry. I was able to get my teammate out here, and he had to go up against Duke City, his first game against Dello. So we broke him in.
Trial by fire.
Welcome.
Right
exactly.
There.
Welcome to the league.
Just rude.
I'm glad I got him here.
Yeah. Talk a little bit more about your experience at Hawaii. Tell me about a day off in Hawaii football. Would that involve a stop at Leonard's Bakery and then maybe down Lanikai Beach or over to Kailua? Walk me through all that.
You got him on that one, JP.
Yeah. How you know a lot. So Lanikai Beach was actually my favorite because
man,
the first beach I went to was Sandy's, and you know about those waves.
Yes.
I got in the water and I got slammed on my head. Thank God I came out healthy, but Lanikai was just so calm. The water was so clear. So that was my favorite beach. And then the bakery, you know, they got those
malasadas.
Yes, the malasadas. Oh my gosh. I would get a whole box of those for myself. So yeah, even practice in the morning, if I would set up my class schedule to have class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I had Friday off. We would go to the beach. My first roommate in Hawaii was Dayton, and he was a local guy, and he took me out diving, you know, with the fins and the spear.
So
I got out in the ocean. So we would always go to the beach. That was my favorite place. I didn't really like to go out. It was kind of straight edge in college. So I loved the beach and just hikes and stuff. And the best 3 years of my life was in Hawaii.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
So Russell, the last 8 months with your life change, with the culture change and your career change, moving here from Hawaii, what have you learned about yourself as a man, and how have you grown over this near year?
Sheesh. I did feel like I've grown in the past year a lot. I try to embrace all these experiences, you know. Everyone's path is different, and when I meet a new person, it's like I'm glad our paths crossed, and just meeting new people, you guys, all the coaches, the players, I'm gonna remember every step of this journey, and I try to sit back and really think about that, and I'm thankful for it.
Don't you wish more people had that attitude, Russell? Like sometimes you got to stop and smell the roses. You got to say, hey, look at this. Look at this. We're sitting up here right now. Mm-hmm. Right now.
That's what
talking pro football.
Yes.
In Prescott Valley, Arizona. I didn't even know you. I didn't know you a year ago. Exactly. I didn't even know you 2 years ago. And now look at it. So you got to stop and smell the roses and really take it all in, like you said.
Me and DJ, he's my roommate and linebacker. We feel like we're the only ones who could think outside the box like that. We really think, like my last week in Hawaii, I really was on my moped, just like these past 3 years went by fast. I really enjoyed it. Every day to practice, I was thinking this is going to go by fast. And then the day finally came. So me and DJ earlier today, we were like, bro, remember 3 months ago when we were at the Green Tree Inn and we said this 4 months is going to go by fast? We're here now. And that's what helps us enjoy the moment, you know, get through those grueling practices. We're like, bro, when this season's over, we're going to want these practices. And it's just, you got to think like that. And I'm trying to get, you know, the other guys to think like that too.
What are things looking like for the off season for you guys as far as, you know, after the regular season's over, staying in shape? Are you guys going to stay here in Prescott Valley? Is that not really a focus yet? Obviously, you got a lot more games to play still, but that's got to be on the radar a little bit.
Yeah, we don't know if we're going to be able to stay in Prescott Valley because I think our housing contract ends. But me and DJ talked about still staying in Arizona or, you know, living in Phoenix. But I don't know if I'm going to stay or go home. I kind of want to go home and stack some bread up, work a little bit.
There you go.
Get ready to come back if I'm going to come back next year.
Yes,
Who knows what's going to happen. At this moment, I'm thinking about this next game and the last 4 games instead of thinking too far ahead. I just like living in this moment. Yeah.
Sure.
Guys, I can't imagine those two guys as roommates, DJ Calhoun and Russell Wilson Jr. I mean, some of the conversations that they get to have and enjoy, let alone talking football. I know DJ and I have had a conversation or two about the ladies scene in Tempe in Arizona State. I was just curious how that works in the Hawaiian scenario. I'm sure you guys have exchanged a story or two. That must be fun conversation.
We got our stories. He has a good amount of stories. I'll say that. But I'll just say we both had a great time in college.
Hawaii's special in its own right?
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Be my second home for as long as I can live.
No doubt.
Kev, you want to do a quick draw?
Let's do it. Rapid fire. Here we go.
All right, here we go,
Russ.
Way back in the frontier days of the old wild, wild west, where the settlers would settle and the outlaws would roam the rugged terrain of the Southwest from town to town, saloon to saloon, one would always have to be ready for the unknown, and at any time, you had to be ready for the old quick draw.
All right. From Elk Grove, California, born in San Jose, out in that originally in Sacramento, where you came from. Russell Williams Jr., our guest right here on Quick Draw. First and foremost, why number 44? Any influence there?
That's a great question. So in high school and in junior college, I was number 7. And then that was my number. I just identified with it. And I got to Hawaii, and I earned it in fall camp, had it for a week. And then I got into some trouble, hazing a freshman. And then my coach ended up taking it from me and giving it to one of the older guys. And then I got his number 44. So once I wore that number 44, I just was wearing it, making plays in it, and I finished college with that number. And now I got it tatted on my leg, and that's just that number. It's the only number I'm probably going to wear for the rest of my career.
That's a fantastic story. It's interesting, the influence of those coaches, before Dominic Bramante and others like that. But just along that way, you were taught the right way. That's a great answer. Number 44 right there, and now you got it tatted. That's cool. All right. Are you watching the Olympics at all, Russell? You watching the Olympics?
I haven't tuned in, but I am checking ESPN, and I see that our basketball team keeps losing. The Olympics are actually on here in this restaurant right now, but I have not tuned in.
All right, neither have I. It's been tough. What would be your favorite Olympic event if you did decide to tune in? Open slate.
I used to wrestle in high school, and I'm pretty sure they just got rid of wrestling, which that made me upset. But if that was still in it, I'd probably, if I didn't play football, wrestling is my second love, so I'd be a wrestler.
4 years of wrestling, I did see what they're at Laguna Creek High School, I think, at one point.
Yes,
and
sir.
Then that's impressive. I'm sure that you learned a lot by being a wrestler. All right. So how about this? Benz or Beamer? If you get to choose, Benz or Beamer?
Beamer.
Beamer. I like it. All right. 2 notable sports figures from Elk Grove. Scott Boras, who is a ridiculously wealthy and powerful sports agent, and former Chicago Bull and NBA world champion Bill Cartwright is from your hometown. Are you familiar with either one of those 2 guys?
The first guy, no, but our rival high school was Elk Grove High School, and every time we went to their gym, we would see Bill Cartwright on the wall. And also, what linebacker? Lance Briggs went to Elk Grove High School as well.
Okay.
Linebacker Lance Briggs, so he's from there too. But yeah,
He's played for the Bears. Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 are the guys that I'm familiar with.
You mentioned 7 when you were talking about the answer for 44. That's when you must have played quarterback. You could throw the football too, huh?
Yeah, my best friend.
This show
in high
might go a
school-
little long tonight, folks.
My best friend in high school was a quarterback, and he actually got injured right before the season. So coach was like, we might as well put our best player at quarterback. So I was back there, read option. I had a small old line, so I had to pull it a lot, quick slants, hitches. But that was looking good on the highlight that I could play multiple positions. And that's where I got my identity. It was just in high school versus
No problem tucking it and running, huh?
Exactly.
Got you.
That's why you look so fleet of foot on that 28-yard return. I think against Duke City, you had a pick against those guys. But all right, last 2. What are you watching on TV right now? You've been watching anything? If you had a moment to sit down outside of the Olympics, of course, what would you be watching? What would you tune into?
I don't really watch live TV that much, but I'm on Netflix right now watching – I don't want to share that show. The last thing I watched was
So revealing.
Earth at Night. I like watching nature stuff, man. Seeing those lions hunt at night. It's just
Earth at
calming.
Night.
Earth at Night.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Netflix.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's one we'll have to check out, boys. Earth at Night right there.
Earth at Night.
And when you're watching Earth at Night, is it on a Sony, a Samsung? You go LG just for fun? If what kind of set do you like?
I got a Samsung TV right now. I usually go with the projector screen, but I didn't want to bring that from home because it's too big. But y'all got to go with the theater projection screen for your home. I promise you won't regret it.
Travel light, my man. Travel light.
Exactly.
That's it for Quick Draw. Russell Williams Jr. of the Northern Arizona Wranglers right here.
Outstanding stuff. Thank you, KD, for that. Thank you, Russell, for coming on with us. We really appreciate your time. Always great to talk with you, and especially love talking defense as well. And nothing but impressive this season. We look forward to continuing to watch you make plays and truly make a difference on this football team. So thank you again for your time, and we really appreciate you coming out with us tonight.
Thanks, Russell.
Yes, indeed. That's it for this edition of the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup. Thanks for my broadcast partners, Mr. Ed Cole and Kevin Derryberry. Don't forget the team on the road this week down in Tucson to face the Sugar Skulls. That'll be at 6:05 p.m. this Saturday night. We are hoping to be there as well. For now, take care. Everyone have a great night. Stay safe and go Wranglers.
Go Wranglers.
Go Wranglers.